things out. Sorry.
Oh,
I just want to keep you on
you're
task.
glad to me?
I'm going to try.
Good evening. I'll call the meeting to order, please. We will begin tonight with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A motion, please, to approve the agenda. Tina and Paul. Discussion? All in favor? Motion is carried. The purpose of the special meeting tonight is for the board to consider the approval of phase 1, of the future project plan prepared by CEI Design Group. Although board members have already had an opportunity to study the plan, tonight we will begin with the presentation of the entire plan for public benefit and for board review. So we will stop now, and board members will need to go down to seats below because the screen is coming there.
I think it's probably safest that under the access. Yeah.
You may want to take along your hard copy if you want to take notes.
Yeah, you can go right ahead if you want to take that easy. That's good.
Just gonna throw it there. Not yet.
Finally, yeah, I'll hold it. That's quick.
He does, it's fresh.
Yeah.
I knew you'd have my back. Way back. Are we being recorded?
Yes,
Yes.
there you are.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Collier. I'm going to get started with your presentation. Board of Education members, I just want to kind of go through a few things. There have been some adjustments to what we saw last week when John Paul Piani and Kira Gates presented to us during our workshop. And I think, you know, you're going to find some of the adjustments that we've made have separated a few things out. My hope is that it's a little bit easier for the Board of Education and the community to comprehend exactly why we're here tonight and how we got here. So I'm going to start with just that. So April 6th of last year, the board's Building and Grounds Committee asked for a workshop. So you'll recall that I believe it was in late 2022, the building condition survey was completed, and we finally got a copy of that in our hands. And the building condition survey, which identifies all the physical plans, so it takes the entire comprehensive view of the district, came back, and I think it identified about $96 million worth of work. And so throughout our time together as a Buildings and Grounds Committee, we visited each each area of our campus. We hit many of the hot spots, I'll call them for lack of a better term, really areas that I would say have been neglected and have subsequently started to deteriorate over the past several years. So it was a recommendation that we do a workshop with the full Board of Education, which we did with Sarah Ball and John Malpiani on the 6th of April. After that meeting concluded, the Board of Education Buildings and Grounds Committee had a meeting slated for April 13th of 2023 prior to a school board meeting. At that meeting, it was determined that the entire board would now comprise the Buildings and Grounds Committee because the investment of our future really warranted input from all 7 school board members. There were several things that were discussed in that meeting, but essentially the Board of Education gave me a charge. They said, you have a month to come up with essentially a plan that identifies potential future projects. So in April, they gave me that charge. I believe I delivered that to the Board of Education at the end of May, right after the vote, and sent that proposal out. And then since that proposal was sent to the Board of Education in May of what the potential plan could look like for the immediate, intermediate, and long-term financial planning and buildings and grounds. We met last week, we saw a potential plan, and then we started to make some adjustments for the presentation you're going to see tonight. So really what tonight is meant to do is break out some essential components of the plan we saw last week with a proposed capital vote date of December 13th of 2023. And we're going to go through that and call that potential phase 1 as it was identified in last week's plan. But I think that what we're going to see and the things that we're going to highlight tonight really are the 2 buildings, the North Rose Elementary building and the North Rose-Wolcott High School building, taking up the primary focus of what this proposed phase 1 project could look like. And then there's some supplemental components for the Leavenworth Middle School that need to be addressed in any potential future phase 1 program. So as you see in front of you, our North Rose Elementary, the focal point for site work would be really to address the playground. You're going to hear as part of the school improvement plan what the elementary staff has been working on. But our building condition survey really identified the rubber system for the playground and the playground equipment needing to be enhanced and overhauled in some cases. So with respect to critical areas of need in the building, the gymnasium floor, we've been told by the group that surfaces and resurfaces sand and paint that we've exceeded our life expectancy. And to do anything else would really either be to go over the top of that or to do a full-blown replacement of that floor. We need to replace water and sanitary laterals in the crawl space. We need to update the sump pump. And by way of example, I have some pictures on future slides to just talk about that. And then really we're going to talk about some of the restroom renovations from the main structure, the 3-story part, boiler and pump replacements, continued masonry restoration, which you know have been addressed as part of the 2021 capital project, and that continues currently and will be wrapping up here in the near future. And then really start taking a look at our classroom doors from a safety and security standpoint and updating that. So that building as a whole is actually going to comprise $8.7 million out of the proposed $16.8 million project. And as I stated, by way of example, here are several of those areas that we talked about. The classroom renovation at the bottom left, you'll see that, you're looking at some dank wall coverings, I will call them. The carpet is really exceeded its life expectancy. Up in the top right-hand corner, you'll see the finishes really need attention. The sink, and the floor really needs work. There's the floor that I talked about. And then the picture closest to me and on the right is really identifying the need for sump pump upgrades and to really try to reduce the moisture level in the basement. Here's a little bit better picture of those classroom spaces that we're talking about. The built-in closet spaces, as you see on the lower left-hand side, those take up about, they take up seating area because there really is no great way for a teacher to address those. And those classrooms on the second and third floor may be classrooms today, but as part of the proposal, when we get into fine tuning, they may be repurposed for other areas because those current classrooms on the second and third floor are probably about 200 square feet short compared to today's academic standards for what an appropriate classroom size would be. The picture on the upper left identifying, the need for ceiling replacement, ceiling work, the tiles and the grids that really just identify in the past, things that were tucked away and hidden by a drop ceiling. The two pictures in the middle actually show you that there, in some cases, are still slate chalkboards up, that when we did the fit and finish on those, even though we addressed the technology needs or technological needs, we did put smart boards up there, but we didn't really do anything in terms of the wall coverings, things of that nature. And then, again, pictures on the right, and the top and bottom will show what I would consider dank environments for our students. Here's a little bit more of that. And for lack of redundancy, I won't belabor this point, but I think that the board and the community will see the environment that our students currently sit in. As I said, for this building, Leavenworth, it really is supplemental changes. There are some things that need to be addressed that we're not taking care of in the 2017 capital project. The boiler pump replacement, the corridor wall finish. Really what's happening with our students going up and down the hallways here in this building, the walls are taking a lot of abuse, so we're thinking about enhancing that abuse board by putting a veneer over the top. So it's something that's a little bit more student-friendly, a little bit more aesthetically appealing, and serves a purpose to say, if a kid walks down the hall and accidentally brushes up against it, it's not going to leave marks in the sheetrock or abuse board as it currently does. Two other areas that are in need of upgrades really go right into the kitchen. The freezer and cooler replacement did not happen, and then the dishwasher and grease trap, and I think you're going to see that that's consistent throughout the buildings. And then additionally, some of the much needed site work here in this building we've talked about, which is enhancing the asphalt surface where currently it's set up with a basketball hoop on it, but I don't think it's functional for tennis. I don't think it's functional for pickleball. I don't think it's functional for students to use competitively during phys ed class. And really, I think it's something that the community will welcome if we were able to resurface that and make it more accessible to people in the evenings, because we have put so much time and energy into being a focal point for our community. So that total is approximately $1.2 million. With